Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Oh, we're off to a good start here. Yeah, thank you for being with me. As you can see, I am still struggling today, but we'll push on through as best we can and have ourselves the best broadcast we can, despite the fact I can barely speak. Still, it's getting super frustrating. Anyway, light our souls, girls from Texas, Q-Boys. Good to see you guys over on D Live. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. And yeah, share that D Live link out. I see Crimson and Joe Elaine hanging out on Rumble. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you're watching on Rumble. Always important. And share that link as well. And of course, pilled.net, the only place to watch the second hour of the show. What's up, Self and All? I see you out there over on Rumble as well. Yeah, make sure you find your way over to pilled.net at some point so you can continue watching in the second half today. Over on Pilled, we have Patriot 714 in there first. Floyd Due Diligence, not far behind. Floyd, thank you so much again for all the support yesterday, joining us. And yeah, just really appreciate your perspective and everything you brought to the table during yesterday's show. So if you haven't gone and watched it, I was a mess, but Floyd and Drunk Pinata really carried the torch and did a great job kind of picking up the slack as you would expect. So again, thank you, Floyd. And of course, thank you to Drunk Pinata, who hopefully will be jumping in here soon himself. We got Delia out there. What's up, Delia? Out in Arizona. Packers 412. Lyle, Jenny, Curious One. I saw you out there too. Much love, guys. Hope you're having an awesome day. Joe Elaine doing her mod thing, keeping the chat super comfy as always. We love you, Joe. Ken Chris, good to see you. HL Paco, good to see you. There's Maven rocking the Pilled Promos account. Maven's another badass that I don't know what I would do without her. We love you, Maven. Floyd with a Taco Tuesday cookie. Thank you for the cookie, Floyd. Appreciate it. Barb Robbins in the house says, Floyd, your message was yesterday was very heartfelt and powerful. I could not agree more. Let's see. R. Harrell, Range Pony. Great to see you guys. There's Curious One, like I said. Pip's mom checking in from Wales. Great to see you. Um, hope you're having an awesome day over there across the pond. Roy, Stones and Bones over on the West Coast. Good to see a Mad Joker and Lucy Andrews out there. Did I say hi to HL Paco? Good to see you, man. Fazik, Tweety52, Jenker2. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. No me for you. Welcome. I like that sticker. I'm gonna steal that one. That's a good one. Let's see who else is out there. Oh, there's Laura Y repping the 412. Let's go, Laura. Good to see you. Maxanon repping the Rise Attire Tribe. Go to riseattireusa.com. Get all your evil free apparel. Promo code WTP Rise for 10% off. Chops, ITMC. Hope you're having a great day. And Paul Thaddeus, good to see you out there. R4 Cents, what's up, Cat? Clover Lily in the house. Good to see you, Clover. Hope you're having an awesome day. Qhio 17. And hey, Tom Ford. Good to see you. Yeah. I haven't. My throat hurts so bad the last few days. I haven't eaten much, so I've definitely. I'm as light as I've ever been. Well, not as light, probably as light as I've been since I was 19 years old. Right now. Um, yeah, definitely. When I stepped on the scale this morning, I was like, "Holy hell, I'm wasting away." Sig, your Dragon Slayer. Good to see you. Hey, Maven. There's Maven under the Maven account. Much love. Milan Labe. Kaiman checking in from South Africa. How you doing, Kaiman? Hope all is well. Soldier American. Great to see you. Brian 1871. Cynthia Crockett Man 62 out there as well. Welcome, guys. I am Beanpole. That's a new one. I am Beanpole. Well, good to see you, Beanpole. Hope you enjoy the show. I'm not sure if you listen often or if I just missed your name every time or what, but good to see you. A from PA. Always a pleasure to see you. Hope all is well. I see Bales checking in over on Rumble. Good to see you, Bales. And PNW Sasquatch over there as well. Great to be with all of you guys across all of these platforms. Big Lee, Silbor, good to see you. Brewbark out there as well. And yeah, again, thank you guys for spending some of your Tuesday with me here today. I really appreciate it. Dave 75, Spirit 554 in the house as well. Open up this window for now. Whoa, Secrets in the house, dropping a ship. Thank you, Secrets. Much love, buddy. I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope you had a good weekend. And yeah, it's always great to see it in the chat, my friend. DCM 17, welcome. Anyone. Great to see you as well. Man, lots of love coming in today. It's good to be with you all. I appreciate you guys being so patient with me. It's been a rocky few weeks, I feel like, but here we are. We're getting through it. Glenna Riggleman, thank you for the cookie. Just happy Tuesday, friends. Dread Quarters says Pinata Holics coming in. Yep, good to see all the Pinata Holics. Lou Ann V, great to see you. Joshua Tree 321 popping by. Good to see you, Joshua. Hope you're having an awesome Tuesday, buddy. And all right, I'm gonna start the intro here. So if you're not in here yet, we'll catch you. We'll catch you next time. But again, thank you all for tuning in. Hit that red pill button, repost the show, share the links wherever you're watching, and away we go. Norm, hang 10, good to see you.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't never move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the fight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system to the roles they're assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight, but I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes, just start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized, now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess, they want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right, let's get this Tuesday officially started, everybody. Thank you so much again for being here, hanging out with us for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adol Nero. It is May 28th, 2024. Riding shotgun with me is my OG, the OG of OGs, Mr. Tennessee homesteader. Tian, I hope you had the best Memorial Day weekend, sir.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Just worked around the homestead and caught the very tail end of the show yesterday because I came in, I was sweating like a pig, so I just decided to cool off, and I caught the tail end when you guys were talking about Nikki Haley and Trump's.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? You know, because it seemed like he was like finally cutting ties with any of these rhinos, any of these war hawks, these neocon trash bags, and then Nikki Haley changes her tune, and all of a sudden, you know, oh yeah, we've got a spot for her. Sure, you know, are you concerned by that? Is it just playing nice, to unite the party ahead of an election?
You have to mend fences, but there's a couple of ways of looking at it. I heard Pinata basically do the black and white perspective, you know, from the enemy and that. But I was thinking an assignment for her, which would be kind of right up the alley and not necessarily critical and yet suffice the announcement and all of that, was what I put in chat. Make her the ambassador to India. And I said, don't laugh, because I didn't mean that as a joke. I mean, it would be perfect in the sense that she is of Indian descent. She is a woman, and she was an ambassador to the UN before that. So it would be a perfect role, and it's arm's length role, right? And it's not like having Yovanovitch being the ambassador to Ukraine, because what's the likelihood of her stabbing you in the back with India, right? So that's the kind of thought process. The other one is that enemies close, and friends close and enemies closer, but mending fences is necessary, even with the establishment. But that's what I thought. It's in an essence of how do you mend the fence, yet not have her in a role. It's still an important role from a perspective of notoriety and upper echelon in that respect, usually attributed to bundlers or people that have done you favors, which also leads me to wonder, because we don't really know who was acting, and we saw DeSantis come in and be the darling of Connick. DeSantis goes away right after the Iowa, and then tacitly endorses Trump, and now he's doing fundraising for Trump. He went back to Florida and is doing some interesting things there. And then Connie gravitated to Haley. She takes it through Super Tuesday and then drops out. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's like, you did the reverse. In the football terminology, you played the reverse. So this will be an interesting thing. I mean, all bets are off from a perspective. Who knows what's on Trump's mind? But I'd say if you're going to give her an assignment that is has notoriety and to a particular ally, and on top of that has no direct consequences to your domestic policy, make her the ambassador to India. You're on mute.
I like it because it's not like we have any prospect of going to war with India. Her neocon tendencies aren't going to affect our relationship.
No.
So it does. It's like throwing the dog table scraps. Keeps them happy without giving them anything.
Yeah, and it's the leftover filet mignon. So it can't be too bad.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Good stuff, Tian. Pinata, great to see you as well. I hope you had a good show. Save any analysis for after sponsors. I don't know if you saw my messages in Gilded. We're going to change up a little bit of the flow here, but I'm going to lean on you to kind of carry us through the first hour with that analysis after sponsors. But how you doing, man? Did you have a good show today?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just trying to keep up with everything. I'm hoping that, it took us about 40 minutes to read through, at least the inner city press who was there in the courtroom, and to read what they were able to transcribe from what happened. But it was actually 3 hours in total. So I'm hoping that there's a lot more detail that's in there that's a little bit more about the things that I wanted to see. I was I would have liked to have, if they could have. I don't know if this was a problem, but I still think even if the judge would, if the prosecution would object to it, and even if the judge sustained, they needed to talk a little bit more, and I hope they did, about how this really wasn't the ledger. This was the personal account, and that there is no second crime. Therefore, you have reasonable doubt. They want you to choose your own adventure. That is reasonable doubt.
Yep. All right. Well, good stuff. I'm glad you're both here. Before we go to sponsors, I want to play a video that TN sent to me, which I thought was awesome. We'll do sponsors after that, and then I'll lean on Pinata for some more in-depth analysis on any updates we've had with jury instructions and whatnot in the trial. I've got some articles too that we could do as well if we need to cover some time. In the second half of today's show, we're gonna watch. It's about a 15 to 20 minute interview. Like actually, I think it's set like 17 minutes long, which is kind of funny. An interview Donald Trump did with Tim Pool. And I know a lot of you guys aren't huge Tim Pool fans, but I think it's significant because if you guys have been following me for long enough, you've heard me oftentimes complain that Donald Trump doesn't engage enough with alternative media. He seems to give most of his interviews and time to the Fox Newses, Newsmaxes, and big media conglomerates. He doesn't engage with the alternate media that has done so much to prop him up. Well, I think Tim Pool was a good first alt media guy to really engage with. And I thought it was a really good conversation. I thought it was a brilliant move. So we'll watch that in the second half when we go exclusively to Pill.net, and that's gonna be the plan for today. We'll end probably a little bit early. I have family in from Arizona, and we're doing dinner tonight, so I want to get there on time. Not to mention, a lot of talking isn't really what the doctor ordered right now anyway, so it kind of works out. But yeah, so let's go ahead and start with this awesome video. This guy's being interviewed outside the Trump rally in the Bronx, and this is probably one of the most articulate, well thought out conversations I've seen from these mainstream media interviews with Trump reporters. Normally, they try to find the people that can't really articulate their thoughts. This guy, I thought, really did a fantastic job, and I'm honestly surprised that this was. I really thought this was excellent, absolutely excellent. So I'm surprised this ever saw the light of day, to be honest, because it really paints the picture very clearly. This gentleman, like I said, very, very well spoken,
and it was a New York Times reporter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm shocked that.
Yeah,
I'm shocked this ever saw the light of day.
Right.
Yeah, there was the Kash Patel interview as well, which was awesome too. But we're not going to watch an hour and 47 minutes of Tim Pool on the show today. As much as that might be good for my voice, you guys can go check that out. That's like the first part of the video. So it's Kash Patel, Tim and his team for like an hour and a half, and then you get 17 minutes. That's right, 17 minutes of Donald Trump after that. The whole thing is worth a watch. We're going to focus on Donald Trump, but then I'll share the link to the entire video at that point in the show. And you guys, if you want to go and watch it, you can certainly do that. But let's go and get into this. It's about 7 minutes long, so we'll do this. We'll do sponsors, and away we go.
They get a check, they get a phone, while people in this country are starving, barely able to make it. Yet again, not you in particular, but your organization likes to paint a false narrative, and we're tired of it. Yeah, American people are tired of it. Yeah. And you guys are gonna see. That's right. You guys are gonna see in 2024 when there's a red wave and there's a landslide, what's gonna happen. And if you guys try it again with what happened with the last election, with the cheating and the changing the votes at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the the suitcases coming in, people running votes through the machines more than once, we're tired of it. We're done. We're voting for Trump. We're gonna be voting red all the way down ticket. We're gonna get Mayor Adams out of here. We're gonna get AOC out of here. It's over. We're tired. That's it.
You think that New York? You think that New York is fed up with Democrats?
Yes.
In general?
Yes. AOC had the ability. She voted against Amazon coming in creating jobs. The Green New Deal is bullshit. It's fake. It's a scam. It's a scam. and we're just sick of it. We got people from the WHO, they're trying to sign a treaty, what is it, where the WHO is going to be able to tell us what to do? Who is Tedros? He's a nobody. The same thing with the WEF.
They were not in election. There was somebody put there.
Exactly. That's a huge problem. You have Klaus Schwab. He's a real-life James Bond villain telling us that we're gonna eat bugs. We're gonna own nothing and we're gonna be happy. This is ridiculous.
Tell me, did you vote for Trump in 2016?
I voted. This is gonna be my third time voting for Trump.
So you were always on board.
I was on board with that man when he got down that escalator. I was a little iffy, I'm not gonna lie, but when he talked about the missing 28 pages from the 9/11 report, that's when I knew he meant business.
Gotcha. And what have the community? Do you still live in New York?
Yes.
Where about? What borough do you live in now?
I'm in the suburbs. I'm not gonna say exactly where, but
Okay, that's fine. But you're out in the burbs.
Yeah.
Do you feel like in the community that you're in the suburbs, people feel the same way that you do?
a lot of people feel the same way that I do. But you get ostracized if you say anything, right?
Do you think because it's New York and New York is a pretty liberal state?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can be black, you can be Hispanic, and you'll be considered a white supremacist if you agree with Trump. You liberals are ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous.
Gotcha. And what issue is the most important to you now?
The biggest issue is the border. We can't support these people. You have this moronic mayor that we have here in New York City. He wants to hire illegals to be lifeguards. This is clown world that we're living in right now. Yeah, because they're great swimmers.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys, especially the New York Times, because you guys are globalist papers. Like, let's be real about it. The New Yorker, the New York Times, you guys are globalist papers. You know, you push water for the globalists, and you guys are destabilizing this country purposefully. But how do we take care of these illegals? Look what's going on in France and what's going on in Europe. They're allowing for these Middle Eastern refugees, and I'm using air quotes, they're refugees, right, that are coming in, they're destroying France. There's no-go zones in Switzerland and Sweden and all of these countries. It's not a stable model that any country can live by.
Where did you grow up? Like, did you grow up
In the city.
In the city? In Brooklyn?
In the city, yes.
Yeah.
Brooklyn and Staten Island.
Brooklyn and Staten
Yeah.
Island. What was this? Were you raised conservative or?
No, I grew up in the projects. Stapleton Projects on Staten Island.
And so were you raised in sort of a liberal environment, you would say?
Of course, they brainwash us to be liberal. They brainwash blacks and Hispanics in this city, in all the boroughs, to be liberal, and they come out every 4 years to pander to you just to get your vote. And what happens after the election? Nothing gets done.
Yeah. What changed for you? When did you start to sort of come up with these new ideas about what you believe?
I mean, it was all BS when I saw Bush versus Kerry, right? You ended up learning that Bush and Kerry, they were buddies. A lot of these politicians are friends. They're just Democrat and Republican in name only. You know, once the TVs are off and the doors closed, they're shaking hands, giving each other hugs, and hanging out with each other. You know, it's us against them. It's as simple as that.
And when Trump came along,
Well, when Trump came along, I mean, everything you guys said in the media about this man has been a lie. You called him a racist, you had no proof, right? Everything that was made up about this guy was a lie. The so-called, what was it, the piss tape from Russia. Oh, he had hookers pissing on him in a hotel room. It was all false. Hillary Clinton paid for that tape, if I'm not mistaken. It's all BS, and people are tired of it. The veil is being lifted, and you guys are going to see in November when we go to the polls. You guys are gonna get your feelings hurt badly. And you know what? I can't wait, because I'm gonna stand outside in Manhattan with my coffee mug, and I'm gonna let the liberal tears just drip into my coffee, and I'm gonna take a nice sip of it.
do you think Trump's going to win for sure?
Trump is gonna win in a landslide. He's gonna win in a landslide.
Yeah. I'm curious what you would say to, a person who says like Trump, like the average Trump voter is like a white dude, right?
No, the average Trump voter is not a white dude. The average Trump voter is an American who cares about their country. There's no color when you don't have a camera, you have a microphone, but if whoever's listening to this could see the crowd, this crowd is ridiculously diverse.
Right. Tell me,
black,
tell me
there's
that.
white. I've seen a Jewish guy here. There's everybody here. And that's another false narrative. All these Trump supporters, they're racist white people from the Midwest. No, it's not. Trump supporters are Americans that are tired of the bullshit that's constantly going on in this country with these liberals and these rhinos.
What? Who did you? Can you tell me who you voted for before Trump came?
Before Trump, I voted for Obama the first time, and then I saw that he was full of shit because he was nothing but divisive in this country. And then the second time around, I sat out because I didn't see the point in voting for Mitt Romney because he was a rhino.
And then Trump came along.
Trump came along.
Yeah.
Trump came along and started putting people in their place. And then he started exposing the lies that the mainstream media likes to spin. You know, if you watched any of his speeches, they try to say that he was a racist, saying that the Hispanics were what were they, rapists, and what was the other thing? They were rapists and all of this nonsense. But when you saw the clip in its full context, he didn't say that. He said the people that are coming over are those types of people.
Thank you.
And now it's been confirmed, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it confirmed that Venezuela opened up their prisons and sent them all up here? Their crime rate has plummeted while ours has risen. You know, you and again, it's nothing against you personally, but the New York Times, you guys are trash. You're trash. You know, legacy media is dying. You guys are on your last leg, and that's it. There's gonna be there's gonna be a bunch of final nails and a lot of coffins on election day. Watch.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you chatting with me.
Yeah, no problem, man.
What do you do, by the way? I didn't ask.
I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse?
Yeah.
Okay, and what, can I get your contact just in case I need to reach out and ask any other questions?
Of course.
What's your phone number?
I'm not gonna give you a phone number on the microphone.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can write it down. I only do it on the mic so that I'm not gonna like put it anywhere. I just do it on the mic.
All right, so I'm gonna take care of sponsors, and we're gonna talk more about this clip, and then we'll get into updates from the trial, and we'll see where that leaves us as far as time in the first hour. Again, we are gonna watch Tim Pool interview Donald Trump in hour number 2. That'll be exclusively on pilled.net. So make sure you find your way over to pilled.net for hour number 2. And that link is in the video description underneath the live stream on Rumble. And I'll throw it in the live chat as well as we get closer to the that point in the show. But first, we do have a couple awesome sponsors that we need to take care of. Let me get to those. Where are we at here? I can close the video. All right, first sponsor today is Diamond Soap Co. DiamondSoapCo.com is an amazing America First business run by 2 veterans, a husband and wife. They've been married over 33 years. They're Air Force Intel vets, so it's a veteran and family-owned business. They make all their soaps, all their body butters handmade right here in the United States using organic, all-natural ingredients. So it's the exact kind of business you want to support if you're looking to support the parallel economy. Many people buy their soap mindlessly from places like Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson. You know, you just walk into your Walmart, your Walgreens, your Rite Aid or whatever. You just grab it without thinking twice. It's a great way to kind of switch those buying habits and really support that parallel economy. And you're getting a great product. Not only are you supporting an amazing America First business that shares your values, but the product itself is far superior to anything you're going to get out of a big brand retail store. Scents like Bonfire, Kentucky Bourbon. The Bonfire is sold out. This has been extremely popular. It's understandable as to why. It's one of my very favorites. That and the Kentucky Bourbon. The Island Escape is another one I've really grown to love. It's fruity. It feels like literally when you smell it in the shower, it reminds you of sitting under a palm tree at the beach, kind of sipping on a frozen beverage, whether it's a pina colada or something like that. There's a lot of great ones. Like sweet almond, green tea cucumber is really like refreshing. It wakes you up, honestly. Frankincense and myrrh, that one was T.N. Homesteader's idea. There's lemongrass. Oh no, frankincense and myrrh was Lance's idea. Light spear out there. Plumeria was T.N. Homesteader. So I'm getting myself crisscrossed here. Get yourself a t-shirt. They got men and women's t-shirts. They got hoodies, all kind of great stuff here. Promo code 412 gets you 17% off your order. So go load up a cart. Let them know 412 says hi by using promo code 412 for 17% off. That's Diamond Soap Co. DiamondSoapCo.com. Excuse me one second. All right. And then we also have Integral Networks, integralnetworks.com, another amazing America First company, family owned and operated business. This company is a third-party IT provider located up in the Northwest, serving the entire United States. They do an amazing job helping businesses of all sizes save time, effort, and money on their IT systems. They do that through a plethora of different, well thought out and well executed services. They can help you with data backup and recovery, cybersecurity, break and fix solutions. Another big one is helping you install big like big network devices like Cisco devices. Those things are incredibly complex. I've actually had to do that in another lifetime, and I needed help. I needed big time help. Someone to walk me through that. So these are the kind of these guys have that type of superior expertise on these complex IT issues, and they also offer the Integral Secure Workspace, which is a super neat solution to streamline a lot of the way you manage your ID. So what you do with the Integral Secure Workspace is you get you basically set up a remote desktop for your users to do their work on an Integral Secure server. And when you do that, because your users are logging in and accessing the server and logging out, everything's kind of removed from their local machine. So you manage all of their software, applications, everything they need from a central location, rather than having to install it on, let's say, 100 different laptops or desktops. So you can streamline that, and then also the data that your company data is far more secure, right? Because it only lives in one spot essentially, as opposed to on 100 different laptops or desktops. People log in, they do their work on the data, they log out. It never has to leave that server. So it's really really awesome. It's a really really awesome solution, really creative, honestly. And yeah, they're great people. They've been sponsors of this channel for quite a while. Total patriots. So if you do have a small business or any size business that could use help with an IT services, pretty much anything you expect the help desk to do, they can step in and do that as a third party solution, as opposed to you having to build out all that infrastructure that goes into it. So Integral Networks, integralnetworks.com, hit up their contact page or dial 916-827-3293 and let them know that you heard about them on 412 Productions. So those are the two sponsors today. I appreciate them both so much, and thank you to everybody out there who continues to support our sponsors and support this channel. I'm going to say some thank yous here real fast, because there's just all kind of stuff coming in. I don't want to pile up too high. Again, Secrets, thank you so much for the ship. I really appreciate that, man. Glenna Riggleman, thank you for the cookie. Happy Tuesday to you. Boys Blanc, thank you for the cookie. Anyone says we love you. I love you. Anyone. Thank you so much. Biatch, cheers, and thank you for the can. Good afternoon. Loop de Loop, cheers. Thank you for the can. Sean Joe with the cookie. Thank you. Lynn's over it with 117 gold bills. Thank you so much. Rambo and Friends says much love, hooking us up with a cookie. Greatly appreciated, Rambo. Esther G13 hooking us up with some shades. Says hello, friends. Feel better. Adult, I'm sick too, so can't chat. Much love. Sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. I wouldn't even say that I'm sick. I have no symptoms outside of just a raw, torn up throat from being stupid earlier last week. So it's not even like I came down with something. I just injured myself like a moron, essentially. So I'm paying the stupid price, the stupid tax right now, and hopefully, if you guys all maybe say a little prayer for me, it'll quickly subside. So all you prayer warriors out there, if you don't mind, praying that my voice and my voice comes back and the cough goes away. I'd really really appreciate that energy being sent my way. Boys Blanc, thank you for the cookie. Old Salty Dog, thank you for the can. Filter Dog 1 says this guy is extremely well spoken. He's excellent. We'll talk more about that little interview here in a second. Cheers, Filter Dog. Thank you. Misinformation is too big to rig. Red wave incoming. I think so. Mr. TZO, thank you for the cookie. It's May. What's up, May? Says newbie 2 at 412. I love seeing new names popping into the show, into the platform. Thank you for the support. I hope you're enjoying yourself on Pilled. I hope you're enjoying the platform. And hey, if you're new here and you're enjoying what you're seeing, not only on this show, but just if you're enjoying the platform, the layout, the functionality of it in itself, please continue to tell more people about it. Users, you guys, the viewership are the lifeblood that really make this thing possible. It's completely grassroots, and you guys really are the ones that stand it up on your shoulders with your participation. So thank you so much. Richard Lyles with the can. Cheers. Ohio Kimmy, thank you for the cookie. And Filter Dog 1 says, is that the Pittsburgh tax? Maybe. It's the smoking too much hookah like an idiot tax is really what I'm paying right now. But now that we're on the topic, Pittsburgh taxes, Allegheny County taxes are way too damn high, as the meme would say, or too damn high. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys can hear me okay. If I keep it at this decibel, Um, I seem to be able to get more words out between coughing fits. So I'm going to speak more softly than I typically do, and just hope that you guys can hear me okay. Um, here, and if I need to bump up the volume, let me know. I can bump it up a little bit, but I want to keep it in balance with the other panelists here. So all I'll say about that video is not only was the guy really well spoken and laid out all kind of stuff, but he talks about the red wave, and I've seen polling now where Donald Trump is competitive in New York, New Jersey, Washington State, for crying out loud. He's leading in Nevada, which we talked about yesterday as a former Democrat stronghold. He's making major inroads with Black, Latino, and young voters, other demographics that the left has leaned on heavily to win elections. This is no longer the old paradigm that we're used to. I think that there is a major shift happening right under our feet right now. This gentleman here is did a really good job. Did a really good job articulating a lot of what we're seeing in real time. So it was really nice to hear him speak and kind of put the mainstream media in their place. I don't know if that guy was trying to dox him by asking for his phone number there during the interview, or if that was innocently him just trying to get it on record, so he could contact him later rather than write it down, just have him say it and not post it. I don't know. We've seen these mainstream reporters do pretty creepy and evil stuff like that in the past. But either way, it was a really good video, a really good video. So that's all I'm gonna say about it, Tiana. I'm sure you have some more thoughts. So why don't you jump in here and say anything that's on your mind on the video, and then we're gonna pass it to Drunk Pinata to update us on the jury instructions and whatever else is going on with the Trump trial. So go ahead, Tiana.
Well, one thing we have to keep in mind that the video was not the New York Times reporter. He was just using a recording unit. The video was taken by apparently a friend of the guy that was speaking, because he was referencing, kind of like fact check me on some things like the Venezuela opening up the doors to their prison, which we've not only heard it from Venezuela, but we heard it from other places. Yeah, I think my comment to the video was one word: based, because that's what the guy was, right? It was really funny because even if the guy was trying to dox him, the reporter was trying to dox him, he kind of like, I guess he picked on the wrong guy, because it's like, well, I'm not going to give you my number on the microphone. It's like, how stupid do you think I am? But have I not demonstrated that I'm not? But it's really driving the shills and individuals like this in general, South Bronx, on the heels of Wildwood, is driving liberals, and I can see it in Truth Social and some on Twitter, but it's driving the shills crazy because they don't know what to do. They just don't know what to do. People are, I can't say all across the board, because you still see some numbers for Biden that are ridiculously too high, not necessarily higher than Trump, just ridiculous too high for what we're seeing. But still, it just stuff like this, and he's a nurse, so there was no discussion about COVID or anything like that, which would have been an interesting topic to address, particularly from his perspective. But that might have cost him his job, knowing where they're at, knowing what happened in New York in particular, right? But nonetheless, it was the overall that they're coming out and not necessarily being fearful anymore, because what he said about being characterized as, because of being a Trump supporter, as a white supremacist, right? It's kind of interesting, the recognition and all of that. So I thought it was a great video. That's why I passed it to you. It's not just because it was a great video, a pro-Trump video. The guy was, to use Biden's term, he looked like a clean, articulate black man. Although he wasn't black, but to use a Bidenism. I'm being facetious, of course. I like the part, and I mentioned that on the rally, that it was an amazing enthusiasm and amazing diversity, which is what the guy said. The diversity in the crowd. You had everything. And remember, when you play that small video of the crowd, you even had Orthodox Jews in there, young Orthodox Jews, wearing MAGA gear. To me, that was big, because the liberal, always voting Democrat Jewish community in New York is pretty big. And on the Orthodox side, they're way more conservative than we kind of think of. And they were screwed during the pandemic, the quote unquote, by New York, the quote unquote pandemic, particularly the Orthodox Jews. So that's my point, or rather my commentary on the video.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, great way to kick off the show. All right, Drunk Pinata, let's throw it over to you, man. We had, I think, jury instructions today, right? What's the latest from
No, tomorrow.
tomorrow? Oh, so what was today?
Closing arguments.
Okay, so what did we learn? Anything?
Apparently, for most of the people in the room, they are boring the jury. And Giuliani's son Andrew said that he had an interesting note. He said during the break in one of the bathrooms, one of the members of the media said that quote, Steinglass has lost the jury. I'm looking at them; they look lost. I'm counting 7 not guilty votes. Then we had other observations of just he said in the courtroom is after that break that he overheard that conversation. That some of the jurors seem to be kind of nodding off to. So they are taking a long time to talk about all of the salacious details and all that stuff again. That has nothing to do with whether or not this was an actual false business entry.
Okay.
And so they're just being very, very long-winded, which is good for them to. And I think even on CNN and some of these other places I've seen that they were saying that's too long. They shouldn't have said that they needed that long time, that long. So to me, that says that they feel like they haven't proven their case, or they feel that it's been like a week off, so they want to make sure that they remind people about all the salacious stuff because that's their case. Their case is the salaciousness, the alleged salaciousness of it, not the actual law, which is, I mean, so I think that by the time they ask them to choose their own adventure, I think that we're going to be in a somewhat good place.
Good.
They want the jury to go in with that bad taste in your mouth. You could have had a wonderful meal, and then you had an old cheesecake for dessert. And what you remember is the old cheesecake.
Yeah.
That's what they were shooting for. But you heard it here first. Hung jury.
Hung jury. I think that's the most likely outcome, personally.
Yep. And everybody, even when you have what's his name? Connie Lawyer, Kellyanne's husband, right? Coming out and basically the entire point of his article or his statement in an article was it will not be an acquittal, a 12-person acquittal. Well, nobody's saying it's going to be a 12-person acquittal. We'd love to see that. But from the very beginning, we know that they had at least one plant in there, at least one TDS suffering, anti-Trump, I should say, maybe not pro-Biden, but anti-Trump in the jury pool.
Yeah.
So, but I think there's going to be more holdouts to a not guilty vote than there will be a guilty vote.
Here's a little clip of CNN saying to prepare for an acquittal. This is kind of interesting.
Look, I think that it's very likely this is the only trial that we are going to get before Election Day. And this case is not a slam dunk, which means that Donald Trump may very well not be convicted. Acquitted is the worst case scenario for Democrats because then it's the only trial you have.
So a short clip, but
yep.
Already
Acquitted is the worst case scenario. That's for certain. The question is, will it be interpreted in the media? Will not a hung jury? They will not portray it as acquittal. They will portray it as a justice not served.
They could try, and that's fine.
Yeah. No, I understand, but I'm saying that's going to be the narrative, right?
Yeah.
CBS already had a breaking news, apparently, saying that the Secret Service was already talking to the New York Corrections or the New York, whatever they call it, for Trump being put in jail.
Here it is right here.
There you go. There you go. Segue. Sorry.
Yep. Good work. A possibly disturbing development has unfolded, leading many to believe the fix is already in for a Trump conviction or imprisonment. As the Gateway pundit readers know, corrupt Judge Juan Merchan has kept President Trump sidelined for a large chunk of the 2024 presidential campaign while violating his First Amendment rights. Trump has been charged with 34 felony falsification of business records when he was penalized for every payment he allegedly made to his former lawyer and pathological liar Michael Cohen regarding Cohen paying blah 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 blah. The prosecution has not proven Trump committed any of these crimes or even had an affair. He will likely be found guilty anyway, given the rigged jury. Now we learn that Secret Service officials have met with jailhouse officials to prepare for President Trump to go to prison. Here's what CBS News is reporting. It's a possibility that officials in the state and federal agencies have begun preparing for, according to a New York corrections.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, well, again, this is
clickbait by Gateway Pundit and clickbait by CBS.
As he said, the Secret Service has met with local jail officials as a former President Trump is entitled to Secret Service protection for the rest of his life, wherever he happens to be. Behind bars, corrections officers would in turn would be responsible for protecting those agents assigned to Trump. So I'll leave that there. But
where's the source? Did you see anything, either CBS or Gateway Pundit? Gateway Pundit uses CBS as the source. CBS does not use anything as the source.
I think Gateway Pundit knew it get clicks. So
yeah. No, I understand that. They're just capitalizing on it. But I'm saying underlying the whole thing is the false narrative. Now, is it possible that they've met? Sure. Would you wait until if you were the Secret Service, would you wait until Trump is, let's say, convicted to have a discussion now how we're going to handle it? Or would you preemptively have that discussion? But I don't know if my gut says that's a bullshit clickbait, not Gateway Pundit, CBS.
I don't see.
How many times have we seen it? We saw it from Jack Smith. We saw it from Bragg. We saw it from Fannie Willis. We saw it from all these other trials leaked to the media.
Yeah, I don't see it as an impossibility that it happened, but I feel like if it did, you'd have more concrete sources.
Exactly.
So I think that somebody speculated it might have happened within the Trump team or a Secret Service or something, and CBS kind of took that and turned it into a narrative because look, they need to, it's all a game of word magic and narratives, and I think it's a way of trying to seed the consciousness of both sides that this is a possibility that start to prep people's minds for the idea that Donald Trump could be sent to prison, even if there's absolutely no truth to it. But I think that's it. And if they just even doing that, right? The left, especially those, as Tien would refer to them at times, those suck egg mules, the ones that are lost forever. It gets them salivating at the idea and gets them thinking that it is like likely to happen. And I think it makes the sell of a hung jury as justice not served rather than a prosecutorial failure easier, right? Or not a prosecutorial failure, but essentially the failure to convict Donald Trump. I think it makes it an easier sell that there was something wrong or something fundamentally unfair that he got off on, right? So
we were robbed.
Exactly. So I think
the jig was up, the rig is in. Yep, exactly. It's conditioning. You're right.
It's similar.
He had to call it out.
Similar to the way they use polls, to rig elections, right? They tell you their preferred candidate is leading the entire way up. So when they quote unquote win, there's no shock there. Even if the fraud is out in the open and absurd and cartoonish, borderline freaking cartoonish. All the polls said this leading up, so we expected them. So, all right, let's say
But when you start with the quote, the second word is possibility. It's not even probability. It's possibility. Right? And that was within the quotes in the Gateway Pundit. I'm not saying, they're not pointing to Gateway Pundit. They quoted CBS.
Uh-huh.
And the second word is possibility. It's like, there's a possibility the meteor's going to come in and nail New York before the verdict is in. Is that a possibility? Yep.
Exactly. No, that's exactly right.
The possibility that the Russians will nuke New York and the whole thing will be a moot point. Is that a possibility? Give me a freaking break. Anyways.
Yeah, I agree. Pinata, is there anything else we should know as far as the trial goes?
Well,
The media clips you have that you want to play? We have 10 minutes before we go.
no, I really don't have any media clips. It's just more speculation, really, honestly. It's just a bunch of the same points that we've heard. They're not actually addressing any of the actual statutes that are supposedly there. They're still allowing the jury to choose their own adventure. They're saying that they don't even have to be unanimous on which one they're choosing, which to me, how can you have a unanimous verdict if they're all broke on that? So I'm hoping that will result in a hung jury if they can't all agree on that, if that's where they're going. But well, maybe if they keep doing these things and putting this stuff out there and essentially as if a guilty verdict is a done deal, especially when you have your Biden press conference that's totally not political, but yet you're going to address this for the first time from the Oval Office or from the White House. Come on. And so I hope that this is them counting their chickens before they hatch situation.
All right. I have this.
Political, but we're going to do a fireside chat discussion about it. Not political.
I have this here. Juan Merchant screams at Trump lawyer Todd Blanche when he makes clip about Bragg's prosecutors wanting to send Trump to prison. So there's a tweet thread by Paul and Gracia. So he says, breaking, I'm back in the courthouse covering the Trump sham trial. Today is the first day of summations. It has been reported that Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, Laura Trump, Tiffany Trump, Michael Ballas, Steve Witkoff, Will Scarf, and DeRoy Murdoch will join President Trump today in court. And he says, stay tuned for updates. So let's see what other updates we got here. Let's see this one. Breaking. Juan Merchant tells the jurors that nothing lawyers said is evidence and nothing said during the summations is evidence. Merchant said, you and you alone are the judges of the facts of this case. Merchant, I am responsible for explaining the law, not the lawyers. Your sworn duty as jurors is to follow my instructions on the law as you promised me that you would. So you can see where this is going. Breaking, prosecutor griping over Blanche saying President Trump shouldn't be sent to prison over the non-crime that is the basis for this cases. Bragg prosecutors are visibly fuming over Blanche's very effective logical summation. They're currently appealing to Merchant to have Blanche's comments stricken from the record. Let's see.
Which is irrelevant because it's not part of the evidence that they're considering. So
Correct.
You can't unring the bell situation.
Yeah, you can't censure the closing arguments.
Yeah, Merchant is irate now that Blanche made a quip about the prosecution wanting to sentence President Trump. Merchant, let me hear your comment about prison. Blanche inaudible. Merchant, I think that statement was outrageous, Mr. Blanche. A comment like that is highly inappropriate and simply not allowed. Period. It's hard for me to get to grapple with that comment was accidental in any way. So,
excuse me, but why would you bring them to trial, whether they're legitimate or not, if you didn't want him to be punished and the punishment is jail?
Yep.
It's like, oh no, we're just doing this for grins. Or are we doing this for his political influence during an election year? Take your pick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why Merchant probably went off, because it was a statement of intent. And the intent is the fact that you brought indictments.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's.
And as to Piñata's point, you can't undo it. And no matter what, strike it from the record. So frickin' what? The jury heard it. And
Yeah.
the reality is that by the judge saying, you're supposed to follow my instructions. No, they're supposed to follow the law and the evidence that was presented, not his instructions.
Yeah, because his instructions are to convict Donald Trump. Let's be completely honest.
Yeah, exactly. Bailiff, whack his pee-pee.
So breaking, let me get this straight. So it's fine for Merchant to threaten to toss Trump in jail every single day for violating his ridiculous gag order. But when Blanche makes reference to Trump going to jail, he enters into a nervous meltdown, admonishes his Blanche, and screams at the top of his lungs, "You should know better than to make that statement in my courtroom." And I think that's it there. So Merchant's losing his cool. It's not the first time we've seen him lose his cool.
So why do you think that is? Because of his authoritarian viewpoint of his courtroom, this is my kingdom and you will do as the king dictates? Or is it because they're losing?
He's an asset of the Biden administration.
Every single time there's been an issue that's been devastating or not good for the defense or for the prosecution, he has made a scene. He did it with Costello, and he did it with
Right.
with Blanche on the opening statements too.
Right, I agree. So the question is the motivation for it. Is it because, granted, he's a operative, let's say. So, but as an operative, it's your perspective or your role to be pro the outcome, right? Okay, but
he's got orders sent down from.
Yes, I understand.
At people that have a history of making life a living hell, if not absolutely, just straight up making
No, I
it
understand.
here, and he's failing at his job. This was his.
Right. That's my point. They're failing.
He's failing at his job. He was tasked with getting them a conviction so that they can use the label of convicted felon to then alter the polls, convince people that that is having an effect, gaslight them into believing or astroturf them into believing, come election day, that all the voter fraud that we're likely to see them try to pull is legitimate. I think that, they used COVID in 2020 as a way to legitimize the polling, for what we saw. And I think, obviously they can't do, and I talked about this yesterday, they can't do another pandemic because Donald Trump would have nothing to do with the response. Donald Trump would have nothing to do with any of that issues around the pandemic. It would all fall in the lap of Joe Biden. So they have to find a way to have some kind of, I don't want to call it October surprise, but something like that they can then point to and say, oh, this is when the game changed. And then they can start extremely oversampling Democrat demographics, make up fake polls. And then, when Joe Biden gets 175 million votes, because, that's what they'll do. Then they can point to it and be like, people just really didn't want a convicted felon as president. So that's what I see here. And Juan Merchant is supposed to be the catalyst, the hitman, so to speak, to make this all possible. But he's got an incompetent prosecution. Their star witnesses are a lying porn star and a convicted perjurer, a sleazeball lawyer. And you've had just way too much contradicting testimony. You've had way too much, kind of shining a light on what this all really is. And he's losing his cool because his job is not looking like it's going to get done.
No, and that's my point, right? That's because if you're winning, you don't do this.
I think it terrifies him.
Right? Exactly. So I also think that if in what you read the last time, or what Piñata was talking about, the view of the jury being bored and being lost, so to speak, not lost in the sense of not understanding, but losing the jury because they've had enough. If the audience in the courtroom can read the jury so can the judge. And more than likely is doing it all the time to determine whether they are on or they're off topic, so to speak, right? Are they following the narrative that we want them to follow, or are they out on their own there? Are they being discerning? And I think this is what we're seeing here. That when he goes off, and I'm not there, so obviously I'm just it's speculation here, but when he goes off the handle, the jury sees it. So then the question is, why are you going off the handle? Now, in some cases, he's done that when the jury, he's ordered the jury out of the room. But when he goes off the handle, like in this particular case that we're talking about, the jury's going to, why are you doing this? Right? And they're reading the jury. There is no doubt that they're reading the jury. And the jury may not be looking too good for them. You're on mute.
I don't know. All right. Yeah, we're at 4:55, so it's time to go exclusively to Pilled.net. You're going to want to jump over if you haven't seen this Tim Pool Donald Trump interview. Really, really good. It's 17 minutes long. It was really well done. I know a lot of you don't like Tim Pool. I do like Tim Pool. I'm a fan of Tim Pool. I don't agree with everything he says, but I think he does a nice job for the most part. He's not perfect. Nobody is, but I think he does a nice part keeping a level-headed
You just
conversation.
like beanies.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm a big beanie fan.
You're a
No,
big.
I just think that as far as independent media goes, he's a good ambassador for it. I think that he can appeal to all sides of things that aren't psychopath. I think that he can talk with the lefty, an independent, a conservative, and I don't think any of them would agree with all of what he says. But again, I think he does a good job allowing his guests to speak. I think he does a good job getting a wide range of political viewpoints on his show, and I think he stays pretty level through it. So that's just my opinion. Again, I know many of you are not a fan, but he did an interview with Donald Trump, and well, we'll get to it on the other side of the break here, because we have to pop over. So, those of you watching on Rumble, those of you watching on DLive, CloudHub, Odyssey, Twitter, we're back on YouTube. I appealed and actually won my community strike, so write that down. But I'm putting the link in the Pilled or the Rumble chat. I'll throw it over on DLive as well, or just go to Pilled.net in your browser, and you'll see our thumbnail up at the top of the screen on mobile, left of the screen on desktop, or just search 412 Productions and jump on in here. I'm gonna play a quick video. We'll come back on the other side, say goodbye to our other platforms. We'll say some thank yous, as the generosity has been absolutely flowing today. And again, I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. Yeah, we'll pick up on the other side of this short break. So we'll be right back.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family. And if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on pill.net. Free speech lives here.
Come back. All right, guys. Thank you guys for sticking with us here, especially those of you who have jumped over to Pilled.net for hour number 2. I really appreciate this. You guys that come over from other platforms. It means a lot that you make the extra effort, not only to continue watching the show, but to support a project that I feel like is extremely important in a world of censorship, big tech oligarchies, and just a rigged conversation in the public square. Places like Pill.net are a gem, and I think it's the only one that's truly free speech that offers these features. So Again, jump on over. It's pilled.net. We're at 412 Productions over there. Link is in the video description on Rumble. It's also in the live chat on Rumble and DLive. So hop on over and say hi to us. Let us know where you're coming from. Otherwise, no worries. Come back tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We've got a great show tomorrow. We got the whole No Prisoners podcast crew, 45 one actual with Agent Feisty Mango and Kevin's Chaotic Coffee. All be hanging out with us. I think for the entirety of the show. So they always bring a lot of energy, a lot of good stuff with them. So looking forward to tomorrow's show bigly. But yeah, if you're not hopping over, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your Tuesday, and I hope you'll pop back over for hour number 1 tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.